Welcome to this introductory tutorial. In this video, I'm going to introduce you to the popular Angular framework. Angular is a framework that has moved from version 1 and now it's right up to version 7. Angular framework is a framework that is used to build both mobile and desktop applications. So basically you can build hybrid apps which work as native mobile apps, or you can also use it to build web applications such as websites and whatnot. With Angular, you can also build desktop applications. But in this tutorial, I'm just going to introduce you on how to get started with Angular. Here, from the Angular website, it says One Framework, Mobile and Desktop. And here we have a button that says Get Started. And here in the Get Started documentation, you have all you need to get you started. First of all, the prerequisites for Angular is Node.js. We'll need to install Node.js to our system. To install Node.js, here you have to head to Node.js website. On the Node.js website, you can choose what version of Node.js to install to your Windows or to your computer system. If you have Node.js installed, let's head back to the Angular website. They said to check your version, run Node. Okay, so you can always do this, Node and the Node version, to check what version of Node.js you're using. I'm going to open my command prompt since I'm using Windows. And here, let me check what version of Node I'm using. Node. So here I have Node version 10. This is what I'm using for my applications. Now, what we need to do next, since Node comes with a package manager, also known as NPM, is that Angular, the Angular CLI and Angular apps depend on features and functionality which are provided by libraries, which are packaged by NPM. So one of the reasons why you will really need Node.js is because Angular libraries are mostly packaged with the NPM manager. Another reason is that we are going to be using a Node server which is included with Angular to run our application locally. What we have to do next to get started with Angular is to install the Angular CLI. Angular CLI is the Angular command line interface. So it comes with commands that you need to generate and build your applications. So the first thing we need to do here is to install Angular through using the Angular CLI. So we'll do npm install and we'll install an Angular CLI. Since I have my command prompt open, I'm just going to go ahead and do that, and I'm going to try to install the latest version of Angular CLI. If you have this, just go ahead and hit enter. Okay, so it says we are using Angular CLI version 7.3.4 and we are on Node version 10, and we are also, our operating system is Windows 32.64. And so Angular has installed the versions. Here we have the Angular development kit, which is also /architect. It's on 0.13, and we have the Angular dev kit and core, which is 7.3. We have also the Angular schematics, which is on 7.3, and right down we have schematics in Angular, which is on 7.3 also, and we have the Angular update, it's on 0.13. Sorry, the schematics update, and we have RxJS, which is a core part of Angular development. It's on 6.3, and we also have TypeScript. Here Angular version 2 or version 7 or whatever you decide to call it is written on TypeScript. So with Angular version 7, we'll be using purely TypeScript. In the previous version of Angular, it was native JavaScript, but this version it's on TypeScript. So here we have TypeScript version 3 too. So what we are supposed to do next is just to generate or create a new workspace or a new application. And Angular comes with a couple of commands, as I told you. So here we have we need to run ng-new and we need to add our application's name to create a new project or a new workspace. But first, to do that, you need to set up where you want to be creating applications on your computer. For me, that's going to be on my E drive. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and go to my E drive, and from there I will be able to start generating my apps. See the website. Just websites. Okay, so here I'm in the folder where I want to be creating my Angular or my web applications. What I have to do next is just to run ng-new, my new app, which I'm going to change my new app to the name of my application. But for this, I'm just going to put that, yeah, my new app, it's okay. So we are going to do ng-new my app. Let's go ahead and hit enter. So Angular CLI comes with a couple of prompts that is going to ask you to add certain configs or configurations to your application. For the one of the first, it's asking if we would like Angular to add routing to our project, and I'm going to say yes. And next, it's asking which style sheet format would you like to use. Okay, I'm going to choose SAS, and I'm going to hit enter. Okay, so it's generating our project workspace. So what Angular CLI is doing here is installing a couple of packages or libraries and dependencies that Angular is going to need in order for us to develop our application. So while that installs, we should just wait. Okay, it seems everything has been successfully installed, and all the packages have been installed and the dependencies, and Angular have succeeded in creating our workspace. So what I need to do next is to go to our workspace root folder, and to do that I will do with cd the name of the application I just created, which is my app, and I'll hit enter. I'm using Microsoft VS Code, so I'm just going to do code to open my workspace folder. In so here we have our workspace, and as you can see here, it's called my app, and we have our application. Here we have the Angular .json file. All of this was created here by Angular CLI. There is not much we really need to do here. Let's look here at the app folder. This is an Angular version 7. It's kind of based on components. So here we have our first component, which has been created for us, and it's known as app.component. And we also have our root module, which is app.module.ts. So here we also have routing, that was the routing module that was created. And now we don't really need this, but let it be here for now. Then next, so Angular comes for each component. Angular is able to create the component.html file and also the component.css file or SCSS file, and it's also able to create the app.component.testing file, complete a folder here for your complete application test. And we also have the component class, which is the app.component.ts. So what we need to do next is to run a local server that's going to serve our application. So Angular comes with a server, and to do that, we simply have to run the ng serve, and I'm going to add the flag open, ng serve open flag, and I'll hit enter. This is going to open a local testing server for our application. With this, we can view our application on the browser. As you can see, so Angular has built our application and it's serving it locally. So we have here, it says, welcome to my app. This is the same as, I usually look at this and it reminds me of Hello World. So, but Angular use welcome to my app. Okay, so here is our root component, and in our root component we had this text and the welcome message. Let me show you where that is in our application. If we go back here to our app folder, and in the app folder, if we open the app.component.html, okay, here you can see Angular here has all of the text and even the logo we saw on the browser. And here there is a welcome to, that is the name of the application. This we can easily change it from the component class, which is app.component.ts. So I can go here and say Angular. And if I save that, and let's check our browser to see, it first of all has to reload. So Angular comes with a live server that reloads on every edit you do on your application folder. So if we check the browser now, everything has reloaded, and the title of our application has changed to Angular. You can also do some CSS here too. Let's say we want to change the color of this title. Let's go back to our app.component.html, and here I'm going to add a span and a class name of title, and I'm going to save that. And here I'm going to use the title class in our CSS file. So I'm going to use the title. And for the title, I want to change the color of the text to red, since Angular's logo is red. So I'm going to change that to red. So I've saved that also. Angular is going to reload our server, which it's done. And if you look at the browser, oh, so we did a mistake here, as you can see. So as you can see, we are able to change the color of the text of our title, of our application title. And so there's a lot you can do with Angular, and it's as simple as you've seen it. So you have just created your first Angular application.